Hello beautiful people, welcome back. This right here is the look that I'm doing for the tutorial today. I am terrible at doing tutorials. I just find them so difficult to do for YouTube. I felt like I really owed all of my new subscribers and my old subscribers that were wondering what I was using on my face for my last month's favourites. That was a super highly requested video. And I did say that I would share how I used my MAC by 9 palette in the dusky rose kind of combination. So I've just recreated the whole look. The eyes are something different for me. They're a little bit more messy, bronzy. I kind of took it from a Kylie Jenner snap of her doing her makeup that I saw before and used kind of the same techniques, and then I popped on one of my favorite liquid lipsticks as well. So I hope you enjoy the look and I'll see you at the end of the video. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to show you kind of like my daytime glam sort of look, I guess. So the first thing I put on my face because it's sunny today is Dr. Jart's Premium BB Cream. This is SPF 45 I believe, and I usually wear it on its own for day to day, but I also use it under my actual foundation for sunscreen purposes. It just gives me a little extra coverage, just the tiniest bit. It does make my face a tad bit greasier, and when the weather's hot like this I do have to powder, but I just like the texture. I like it as kind of a primer as well. My foundation is one I keep going back to. I wouldn't exactly say it's cheap because it's very close to the price of like high-end foundations, but it's the number 7 Stay Perfect Super Light Foundation, and this is pretty much a dupe for like the Chanel Vite Lumiere Aqua. But I prefer the colour range in this. I could never find one when I worked at Chanel. So as you guys know, I use the shade Warm Ivory, and I just feel like I keep going back to this because it gives my face a really light to medium coverage all over my face. I keep going back to this foundation over high-end ones that I am trying on the side, just because I cannot seem to replicate the glow it gives my face with any other foundation, and the colour match is really good for me no matter whether I'm like tanned or a bit pale. I feel like it always just works. And the way that I find I get like the best, most even and most coverage out of this foundation is the Real Techniques, I think the buffing brush, the one that comes in the set. I have the pink handle one as well, but there's just something about this orange handle one that I feel like buffs in foundation and creamy products the nicest. I do run it like slightly under my eyes because I find that it is such a reflective foundation that kind of sheen it gives under my eyes is actually really good for, I don't know, just helping the coverage of your concealer along and kind of highlights the under eye bags, which I have a lot of. Do you guys like my t-shirt, by the way? I got so many comments on Instagram about it. I'm kind of obsessed. Concealer going for the heavy coverage today. NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Custard. What's new there? So popping a shit ton of this on my face because, girl, I may wear light coverage foundation, but I like my full coverage concealer. And I just take this anywhere. I have redness, darkness, shadows, like I have like little dimple things here, so I like to pop just literally anywhere where there's a shadow at all, and maybe a little bit. I got my damp beauty blender, and I have to say I've been reaching for the Real beauty blender more. Dab dab dab. Dab, dab, dab. I like to get right into the inner corners. I'm going to double dip with the same brush and also my favourite contour, the Tom Ford cream contour, what's it called, shade in Illuminate. I use the Intensity 1. I really only like to use this contour when my skin is kind of like emollient and quite like creamy already, so it blends in better. It really just doesn't seem to work very well with like matter foundations in my opinion. I also just outline my jaw a little bit with it, but just be careful to like really blend it in. Just get your buffing brush and buff that in and up. And I've just realised I got some kind of like bite here or red mark, so I'm going to cover that with concealer in a moment. Myself some jawbones, you know. Next up, another kind of creamy product. It's the Soleil Tan de Chanel or Bronze Universal Bronzer. It's just kind of like a hard cream, I guess. And again, I like to like triple dip, going with the same brush and just bronzing up a little bit just on the tops of my cheekbones. It is kind of more on the orange side, but I feel like if you've got like a natural tan, it looks really beautiful and just adds a little bit of colour, because I feel like contour on its own can look a bit like, no, sort of like dab and blend. Okay, now we can finally get to powdering the skin because it is hot AF in here. I'm using the powder from the Smashbox Shape Matters palette. It just has like a bunch of powders and highlighters in there. So I'm going to use the matte light powder. It works really, really well for me actually. So I'm going to pop a bit sort of all over my face and also going to highlight my cheekbones a little bit with this. So just going to like lightly brush it all over my face. And this is the Sigma Tapered Face F25. And then to highlight my contour, I just take a little bit on that tapered brush again and just brush a little bit to sharpen up my contour. Not anything too severe, just, you know, a little bit of help. Now that that's powdered, I'm going to add a little bit of blush, which is something I don't do a lot, but I've been really liking this blush, and it's the MAC What I Fancy powder blush, just a standard straight up peachy pink with the Soft Angle Contour F23 from Sigma. And again, I'm going to tap off tons of the excess because I only want like a little bit. And I'm literally only using the tiniest bit just to kind of like give that bronzer I put on just a little bit of like a boost. With my eyes, I'm going to pop a bit of just standard primer. This is the Urban Decay Primer Potion because I have very greasy lids and there's just no way I could do any eyeshadow look for you guys without popping some on. First up is my brows, which I have to sort out. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills, what's it called, Brow Wiz in the shade Ebony. So a little bit lighter than my own. Just literally just defining the brow that I already have, filling in any gaps. I like to do kind of like a sharp straight liner along the bottom here and then blend that out. And smoothing out those hairs, I guess. And I'm also going to like extend it a little bit. Just like that. Onto the Dusky Rose palette, star of the show. I'm using this middle rosy shade here, and it actually does show up on the skin a lot more. I know it's kind of washed out here. Easy peasy, literally flat brush, pop it all over the lid. And then once you got that down, take a fluffy brush. This is the MAC 224. Same color, just kind of soften it all out on the outer corners. Drag it up towards the brow bone a little bit. Ooh. You can even extend it just to kind of softly elongate the eye, kind of up towards meeting that little brow point that you made. Then I'm going to take a mixture of this cool toned brown and this darker kind of chocolate brown, and we're basically going to do like a really thick liner with this because this look doesn't actually have any liner. It looks soft and kind of a bit messy, but once the mascara and everything is on, it kind of just pulls the whole look together. Now that I have that kind of rough liner defined, I'm going back in with the flat brush and the middle shade that we took, that we used all over the lid, and I'm just gonna like blend it out and make it super soft looking. I'm also gonna run a little bit of that peachy shade under my eyes as well. The flat brush again, I'm going to take this like shimmery shade here, it's like a rose goldy color, and I'm just gonna put a tiny weensy bit of that in the middle. Just for like a bit of a sheen. And then with that darker brown right in the corner here, I'm just taking an angled brush and just adding a little bit of that dark colour right along the lash line, just to add like a tiny bit more definition. So again, favourite mascara ever, which definitely has been discontinued, you guys. I've been trying to get as many bottles online as I can. Shiseido Defining Volume, the waterproof one. Perfect mascara defining volume. Basically what I'm trying to aim for is kind of as thick and fluffy as I can possibly get them. I'm going to juice up these lips, so I'm starting with the little highlighter shade that's in the corner of this matte palette. I put a little bit right on the ball of my nose as well because I think it looks cute. My very, very sad Spice vintage packaging lip liner is coming to the end of its life, so let's get one more whirl out of it. And the final thing, which I think pulls this whole look together and makes it actually feel quite glam, is liquid lipstick. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills in Vamp. It's one of my favourite shades, one I always go to when I'm going for a dramatic lip. Oops, I just realised I left my aircon on when I was taking a little break and filming there. But yeah, this will kind of dry down to a really, really pretty, like reddy, deep brown. So I really do hope that wasn't too painful to watch. Give it a thumbs up if you want me to keep doing tutorials. I was thinking of maybe going through my like no makeup look for you guys, perhaps. For my OG subscribers, I know my makeup doesn't change that much in terms of my base and stuff, but maybe my new subscribers might like to see what I'm using at the moment. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like send me your recreations of this look if you do it. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.